right, so Monday, coming into this morning, there wasn't a whole lot going on, kind of in the same group of stocks that I normally trade. Boeing had some news and BYND had some news. And after looking at the details of everything, I ended up just going with BYND. And the reason why I chose BYND is because it's coming off the backbone of not the best news last week. So last week, it says right here, McDonald's ends Beyond Meat burger trial in Canada with no set plans for a vegetarian option. So I guess the possibility of having them added to the Canadian menu was taken away, which is not the best news. You would have hoped that they would have been added to the menu. That would have been a good thing. And when McDonald's said no, that they weren't going to add it, there was actually, so this big sell-off right here, the stock had reacted to that. It sold off a little bit and then kind of had an inside day the day after. And then coming into today, Barclays downgrades it. It had two down, so the double downgrade of Barclays, that's not great news. So, and the market was up a little bit and this was trading lower. So it was showing some relative weakness. So now it was just about breaking this down. Clearly on the daily, buyers have started to lose control. And with the gap down, it was about where could this possibly go? 133 is support. If we break that, where else could we go? The high of this candle right here, 129, that was a gap fill. So I thought maybe there's a possibility we fill the gap. I don't know if it happens today, but those are some clear levels. Now just breaking this down on a lower time frame chart, clear downtrend. Kind of cracks this one, not much volume pre-market, cracks this 137. The only thing that I didn't like is that it had a pretty big move right before the open, and sometimes that's not the best. So regardless of having my opinion on what it should do, I just say, okay, let's watch the price action and let me take the four setups that I like and see if any one of them can apply to this off the open. I like to trade the open, focus on my strength. Let's see if this sets up. So that first 1 minute candle closes green. All right. What does it do right after? Look at this huge engulfing red candle, pushes up into 134, aggressive whole number stuff, breaks 133 support and takes out that low. I ended up taking this short right in that area. And what did it do? It created a fantastic opening range break to the downside. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of consolidation and then broke that low. So right around 131, created a channel, 134 being the high, 131 being the low, broke the channel and had some nice follow through and it filled the gap very quickly. And of course, this thing ended up going lower, but you never know how low or how high something is going to go. So I just take the quick move. Here's the execution. I ended up getting in on that second candle. Watching the tape, seeing the reject, better entry would have been right there and then take the profits on the washout. It did go lower, but I take the quick move and I'm okay with it. And it ended up being just a one and done day, which was a great way to start the week. Tuesday, a little recap of the day. Today was Tesla day. Why was today Tesla day? Because Tesla was trading close to all-time highs. And this stock just continues to be an amazing stock to trade. And when it is near that all-time high level, it just usually has follow through. There is so much momentum at the back of this stock that anytime it's around those key levels, it's usually the only stock that I'm looking at that day. And if you look at Tesla on the daily, I mean, that's a beautiful pattern. It gets incredibly tight, catching up to the moving averages. This green candle yesterday was a nice candle that showed buyers took back control. So now it was just about, okay, all-time high is 1,027.48. Let's break it down on a lower time frame. So what does it look like? So a little bit all over the place pre-market, but the main key level I'm looking at is pre-market highs. And I make that level blue just because that's my personal choice. So now what does Tesla do off the open? So not a lot going on, has a couple green candles. I mean, in a perfect world, maybe this could have been a real quick entry, 1,010. 1,010 was also prior day's high. So maybe take it real quick. 1,010 was good, and it ended up having a nice rip. So it went straight through pre-market highs and then consolidation. So consolidated and then took that next leg up and off we go. And it went right to all-time highs and pulled back a bit. But I was involved in the stock, not even for that long, just to go to the executions. I ended up getting 5 contracts pretty quick off the open. So I could have had a better entry on this. I could have waited a few more minutes till about 117-ish. I took it at about 115 just because I kind of know the personality of Tesla, and it can get going pretty fast and sometimes won't even give you an entry to get in. So I was okay taking that trade knowing that we had just broke pre-market highs, and then I think that there is a chance that we go higher. And it consolidated for a couple minutes and then took off. So I ended up getting 5 contracts at $27.67. So they were pricey, but my account is getting bigger. So I don't mind the price of the options. It's pay to play is how I see it. I ended up taking 3 off pretty quick into the push into like maybe 118-ish. And then I ended up taking another one off a little bit later into like 119, 120, and then took the last one off into like 122, just because we went from the low of day, which is 1,004, right around that open print, to almost 20 points incredibly fast. So I just got out. Remember, I'm the quick scalper. Take the quick move, and I'm out. And it ended up being a very nice winner. Got almost $5 on that very last contract, which made for a fantastic Tuesday. Wednesday. So coming in today, one of the main focuses for me was going to be on Tesla, because Tesla caught some momentum yesterday and made an all-time high. And as long as I really like that all-time high trade, but the trade I like just as much is when a stock makes an all-time high, clearly catches momentum, and if it opens weak, slightly weak the next day, it opens below yesterday's highs, I like that second day continuation play. So coming into the morning, what was SPY doing? SPY took a little bit of a dip and looked kind of weak. And then ADP numbers came out and they weren't as bad as expected. And then Pfizer had some news saying possible vaccine. Whether or not that's true, who knows, but the market liked it. Bought the dip off 307 and went straight up and started to clear prior day's high on SPY before the market even opened. So I like that, because now all of a sudden, okay, the SPY is strong. Now let's focus on those strong names. Tesla was that focus. So now looking at Tesla, just breaking it down on a daily chart. What am I looking for? What are some of the levels that interest me? So I was looking at the prior day's high, 1,087.69. Prior to the action in the morning, Tesla opened perfect, slightly weak. I really like when it opens slightly weak. So if it goes through that level, there is some serious follow through. Breaking it down on a lower time frame, looking at the 1 minute with the pre-market on and the pre-market off. So just being able to look at the levels. So prior to any action going on, this is what it looked like. So open week, dip got bought pre-market. So clearly buyers were taking control before the market even opened. What did I jot down? Pre-market high, knowing that all-time high is above. And I ended up doing something I normally don't do. I ended up taking Tesla within the first minute of the day because it broke all-time high. So kind of that quick momentum high break. I don't recommend I ever do this again. But this was more of a tape play. So really watching the tape and knowing that all-time high is above and that Tesla could catch a second day momentum trade and just get going. So going to the actual executions. I ended up taking this right at that first minute, and I got 5 contracts at $23.26 and instantly got out of the trade 30 seconds later at $27. So riding the rip. The reason why I didn't even attempt a partial out of this is because I got in really fast. I don't ever want to make that a habit, but reading the tape and seeing how strong it was and knowing that all-time high was above, I had the conviction to go for it, and I didn't want to play games with this. This was take the quick move, even quicker than normal, and get out, especially that fast off the open. So 5 contracts, $23, almost got $4 per contract, and that was it. This is my trade log. This is the only trade I took on the day. And then just kind of critiquing this a bit, rather than being a little antsy and taking that so fast, there was some other opportunities on this. So pre-market high, broke right through it, made a new all-time high really fast, strong 1 minute candle, waiting for the pullback. Let's say I did not take that trade. There's where I see another entry. Big move higher, pullback. And 1,005 is the opening range. Nice pullback. And then as it starts to move higher, kind of breaks that flag pattern, starts to speed up to 1,005 or 1,105. That would have been another good area had I not taken the quick scalp off the open. This would have been a possible good opportunity again. And it gets nice follow through from about 11:05 up to right around 11:16. The moment the tape slows down, I'm out. So I ended up just doing one and done. I'm not trying to play games. If I get a nice trade pretty quick off the open, I now realize that I'm better off walking away than I am continuing to try to trade. So that was Wednesday, and it ended up being a great day and kind of just momentum of continuing to be a great week because Tesla is in play. And when this stock is in play, it's fantastic to trade numerous days in a row. Thursday, aka Friday, because of the shortened week. So coming in this morning, just starting top down, what was going on with SPY, and just looking what it was doing, came off the 200-period moving average, 3 up days in a row. This was day number 4, and even though it felt really bullish, I was thinking, all right, 4 up days, maybe there's a possibility that this kind of stalls out here, and just looking to the left, seeing 315 resistance. I wasn't necessarily thinking that this was just going to continue to rip, especially on a shortened week, 4 up days, the last day of that shortened week going into a long holiday weekend. So had 315 as resistance, and that was just about what is SPY going to do? Let's watch the price action going in. But besides SPY, what are some of the individual names that I was watching? Tesla was one of them, and I was not long biased Tesla. Tesla had gapped up huge, and Tesla has already had 3 up days in a row. So on the 4th day, it gaps up over 100. I was actually more short biased. And some of the other names, Apple, NVIDIA, but one of my favorites was Netflix. So why was Netflix my favorite? Because it had a huge candle yesterday that showed it caught some momentum. It also made a new all-time high, so kind of day 1. Now I'm looking for that day 2 continuation trade. So now just breaking it down on a lower time frame. Netflix, what are some of the levels that I thought were interesting? 488.23 was the prior day high, and 490 was pre-market high. So now just seeing what this does off the open. It has a very, very quick consolidation. It's almost hard to see, but it was the very first 1-minute candle was red, came into 485, 484, instantly got bought up, had 2 minutes of consolidation, and then 487 was the whole number above that consolidation with prior day's high above and pre-market high above. So what did I do? I ended up going long. And I took some contracts. I ended up over trading a little bit. So all the prior days were very simple, easy one and dones. And this is a bit of an outlier week. It's because Tesla was in play. So I was able to catch one trade off the open, and it was really nice. Today, as you can see, I'm human. I lost it a little bit. I took more trades than I needed, and especially at the end of a shortened week. So I lost it a little bit, but it ended up being okay. So here are the option contracts on Netflix. So just scrolling this over so it's easier to see, got a really good entry. Right as it broke that high, I got 5 calls, 490 calls, and got a very, very fast move. And this is why I scout, because when I get those fast moves, I just take them because, yes, sometimes there's some serious follow through, but then other times you get this, where Netflix rips, consolidates a bit, and then gives it all back so fast. So I got in at $3.19. I took 5 and I took them off. Look how quick. It's 45 seconds. I got the quick move. I just take it. And I took them off at 4.45. So I got over $1 on that trade. So I was up a very nice chunk on the day. And then what did I do? I tried to do more of a longer time frame thesis trade on Tesla, and that's just not my style. So I ended up giving a huge chunk of the Netflix trade back. So Netflix worked out great, and that was awesome. So now just going to Tesla, and then I left it alone. Didn't touch it after that. So now going to Tesla. What did I think? I thought that Tesla had an opportunity to move back into the gap to the downside because it just gapped up a little too much after a sick run. So now, just some of the basic levels. I had pre-market high jotted because I wanted to see if we got there. And then, it sold off very fast off the open. So that pivot low off the open was going to be a level of interest for me, which ended up being 1197. So this is what it ended up looking like. And I totally thought we could work our way into the gap, maybe 1190, 1180. I don't know how far, but just give some back because that's been an insane run. So I took one contract, a 1200 put at $12. So I ended up taking it at 951 just to pull the actual option chart up right there. Ended up taking it at 951. So I ended up taking it like right there, right around 1204, thinking if we take out low a day, 1197, I think this has the possibility to bleed into the gap a bit just because the move up is pretty excessive at this point. And I wanted to try to hold this for a longer, bigger trade idea. And I wanted to use the Netflix profits to try to experiment a bit. What happened? Had a quick move. I was up in the money. Normally, if I was scalping, I would have taken that, but wanted to try to hold for the bigger move. And what did it do? This came up. I should have just got rid of this thing at around, 1207, 12.8 when it started to move higher, but it ripped over VWAP. I don't have the VWAP on this chart, but I do on another. And the moment it reclaimed VWAP, I got out, and I took a hit. So clearly showing that mentally I was trying something new and was not able to execute properly because I could have got out quicker, but just trying to hold on for a bigger move, which I normally don't do, and it didn't end up working. So it goes to show that I'm really good at what I do, and I'm not screwing around with anything else anymore. And then I ended up taking, so that was Tesla. And then I ended up taking, the next trade was Boeing. So Boeing had a nice gap up, and now I had some levels marked, pre-market high, pre-market low, really nice push off the morning, and then instant rejection. So nice stuff. So sellers have taken control. And now it was just about, where do I think this could possibly be a good entry? And I ended up going short. I ended up taking it 813, which is really 1013. So I ended up taking it right here. So here was low of day. Low of day was about 183.60s. Had a quick push into low of day and then consolidated for a couple minutes. I took it short right here, right in that area. Broke below. So I'm now in the money. I was in the money probably 40 cents. And this little pop right here, that little pop got me out because I like to have flat. I like to be break even as stop once I'm in the trade. And here's the downside to that. Sometimes you get nicked out of trades and they keep going in your way, but just to be safe, I wanted to protect that entry. And of course, Boeing ended up going, it almost filled the gap, which I thought maybe this is a possibility to fill the gap, but I don't do a good job at holding. And out flat on the trade, it is what it is. And then I ended up taking one more trade, and I took a trade on Tesla. Back to my scalper attitude, my scalper mentality, take the quick move, and it ended up being a nice trade. So I took one last trade, 3 contracts. I went a little bit lower than my normal scalping size just because I was only up a small amount on the day. So, and I wasn't trying to, play this for a bigger move. So I didn't feel the need to have to go 1 contract. So I scaled down a bit and I went 3. So I ended up taking this at 1034 right there, right around 1203, 1204. What I saw was the technical level. So prior to that breaking down, the technical level was 1197 underneath some of the short-term moving averages I like. Ended up taking this short right there, right around 1205, 1204, just before that prior pivot low. Breaks the prior pivot low. We get to low a day. It starts to bounce off low a day. I ended up getting out of the trade right around 1199, I think almost 1200. So I got about a 5-point move. And here's the execution of that trade. So just a quick momentum scalp. The moment the tape slows down, I get out. So I ended up taking 4 trades today, which is way more than I needed to take. I should have just taken the Netflix and walk. So this goes to show that the week kind of seemed almost too perfect to be true because it was very clean, one and done days. And today I kind of lost it mentally and was able to just take the loss on Tesla, even though, yes, it ended up going lower. I'm not good at dealing with those big fluctuations. It's not my personality. Some traders are really good at doing that. I am not. So gave it a shot because it's always good to experiment. And the data just continuously tells me that I suck at anything else besides taking the quick move. Took the quick move on Tesla, got a real nice move on the options, and then that was it for the day. Took my hands off the keyboard, done. And it ended up being a fantastic week. Had no idea it was going to be like that, but on a shortened week, very happy. So feel free to share with me some of the stocks that you traded this week and how it went. And we're going into a long weekend, so make sure to have a good 4th of July weekend, and I'll see you next time.